My name is Quinn Kathner. I am 35. I live in Sioux Falls, and I identify as a very proud lesbian. And my pronouns are she, her, they. I'll basically answer to anything. I don't remember coming out. I just remember that I was always a little different. All my friends that were girls, my classmates, were always talking about boys and how cute they were, and I was just like, yeah. I always thought Britney Spears was cute. I think she was like my first girl crush, and still might be. I don't know. She's pretty bomb. I was raised really Catholic. I was raised in a small town, which I think a lot of us can relate to, where we don't know a lot of people that are out and proud. And for me, there were classmates that were out. My best friend from high school was out, and he had I think a really good impact. I mean, it wasn't negative. And he was kind of like my example for coming out, but there were no females. There was no bisexual or lesbians, and it was in the early 90s, late 80s. We didn't really have the technology to kind of know what we were, but I always knew I was different. And for the longest time, I thought I was bisexual, even though I didn't really vocalize it. And then, fast forward until college. I graduated high school and went to college, and I went to a really small school, and I didn't really know a lot of people that were female out, and so I didn't really have any really good experiences, or any experiences really. And so I still wanted to date, I still wanted to have experiences, so guys were available, so that's the path that I went down. It wasn't until I got pregnant with my son I think when I was 21, late 21, and then I had him when I was 22. And being raised in a small town, very Catholic, very religious, that really impacted my decision for maybe needing to make decisions that maybe weren't really what I wanted to do. And so I made the best choice at the time for myself and for my son, and I was married for 5 years. It was really tough at times, because there was an internal struggle that nobody really knew about except me. And it wasn't the reason for things, but eventually my ex-husband and I went separate ways, and then I kind of had some time to process and get into my own skin, and started dating women. I had my first girlfriend, and once I had my first girlfriend, kind of everything clicked. It was just like, oh yeah, this is this feels natural, this is really good. And that's when I kind of remember saying, I'm not straight, I'm gay. I remember the struggle that I had with it. It wasn't easy, but I was so happy that I did it. And I just want to be a voice for anybody that's going through a similar situation, that's sticking it out in a marriage. By no means am I saying, one thing or the other, but you really have to be true to yourself, and just know that you have a community here in Sioux Falls, and that you have a community of people that are, just like you, just like me. They know the struggle, and I think there's more that connects us than separates us. It's been 5 years since I had seen myself out of the marriage and really just got into my own skin, and I'm happy. I feel aligned with who I'm supposed to be inside, and that's the best feeling ever. I live out proud by being myself, by serving Sioux Falls Pride in my role, but also on my day-to-day, just being true to myself. And for me, that's everything, because it didn't do myself any good. to be and to pretend to be somebody I wasn't. Thank you for allowing me to share my story, and I'd love to hear yours.